Welcome to the Greenhouse Nature Lovers, education lovers from around the world. I have with me today, alongside me, the most extraordinary guest I can imagine. Maria Montessori transformed the way that we view children and education. She instilled in all of us an understanding that children can learn more profoundly, more resolutely, with more passion and diligence than anyone in her time or in subsequent eras, understood. Maria Montessori's name, her very name, conjures up ideas about practical life and nature and sensorial experiences in the classroom and beyond the classroom's borders. Of course, a garden is part of this. Of course, a greenhouse is part of what Maria Montessori would have integrated into the educational realm that she celebrated and gave to children in Italy in the 1800s, and this legacy has continued. This film is dedicated to my parents, who instilled within me a love for Maria Montessori, and Decatur Montessori was my preschool when I was growing up. My mom became a deeper Montessorian through her career. In the name of Maria Montessori, she developed her lifelong passion for education. And Dad, of course, always shares our philosophical love for nurturing and sharing ideas and empowering all people to their highest life condition through, of course, Buddhist practice and his love for Asian arts. But that's a different conversation. But anyway, for Mom and for Dad, this is a conversation that feels so appropriate to my childhood and to what I want to share with humanity as I continue my work and devotion to children in the sphere of education. So, Maria, as much as I would like to discuss education with you today in the classroom sense, I have a much more basic question for you about what we would have found in your schools in Italy during the 1800s on the plates of children in the canteen. What did they eat at lunchtime? And how did that affect what they were learning and their education, their understanding about life and nature? And before I let you begin speaking, which I'm so excited for, I would like to say benvenuta nella nostra sera e prego.
I am honored that your parents taught you my methods in earnest, Sabrina, and you spent your early childhood years at Decatur Montessori in Seattle, in the United States. That is wonderful to hear. Ah, Sabrina, the food was quite simple. At the principal meal, at about noon, I believed the children should have soup, a meat dish, and bread. For children from poorer families, I particularly valued soups made from vegetables, beans, peas, or lentils, and even bread cooked into soup with a little olive oil. Later, at about 4, there might be something much simpler, bread and butter, perhaps bread with honey or fruit preserve, some cooked fruit, milk, or an egg with breadsticks. But I wished for something more. I wanted the children to grow vegetables themselves, to pick them fresh from the garden, cook them, and then enjoy what they had grown. I even imagined the older children milking the goats for fresh milk. And, whenever possible, the children were brought into contact with nature. They cared for plants, observed the changing seasons, and learned that living things require patience and attention. My classroom welcomed children who were too often underestimated or overlooked. I believe that every child should have the opportunity to participate in the life of the community, preparing food, caring for the environment, working with the hands, and experiencing the natural world directly. A garden can be a classroom too. To plant a seed, tend it, watch it grow, and finally gather what the earth has produced. What a beautiful education for a child. You see, Sabrina, feeding a child need not be separate from educating a child. growing the food, preparing the table, serving it, eating carefully, and putting everything in order. These are all opportunities for the child to become capable and independent.
Grazie mille, Maria. Maria Montessori. Your response is meaningful to me and it makes a lot of sense. I thought you might say that children should be part of their meals and experience food preparation, food growth, and sharing as a part of the big picture of their educational experience. They don't just get served, but they do the preparation. They do the table setting. They handle the food with clean hands. They pass it around and make sure everyone gets an appropriate portion and has the right nutrition, and that this connects to their whole life of learning and understanding of Mother Nature and the engagement with the cycles of life. So this makes sense that you would have directly involved them in that experience, because it would take something away from them if they were just served food and didn't know about its origins, didn't know about how it grew, and didn't understand how it nurtured their bodies and their minds and their communities as young people exploring nature in the world and in the classroom. Alla prossima volta. Thank you again, and I wish you a beautiful continued journey.
Grazie Sabrina, è stato un vero piacere. Thank you for the pleasure of a conversation here in your greenhouse. It gives me great joy to see you growing food and nurturing young people. Every person, young and old, should be empowered to care for the earth, to learn from one another and to grow together. Perhaps we shall meet again someday, somewhere along life's extraordinary path. Arrivederci Sabrina.